Welcome back. Today we're looking at 4 levels of peer counseling, and I hope this will really alleviate a lot of anxiety and give you some encouragement and direction in 4 specific questions you may have. How much time should you spend with the person who is sitting there with you? How much information do you need to make a decision? What is proper care going to look like? And if you need to refer them to someone, who or to whom should you refer them so they get that proper care? I think these slides are going to help you out. And if you'll notice on the left, on the right side, it's really about exploring the depths, how much information do you need, and going the distance, how much time do you need, and that really fits into those 4 different levels. Let's take a look. The first level is about survival. Has the person given indication that they are considering harming themselves or others? If that's the case, how much information do you need? Not too much, right? You don't need to go too deep. How much time do you need to spend with them? Not too much, right? The main thing is to keep trust. Because they're in a volatile situation, if as much as possible, you want to make sure that they're the ones who make the call, or that they give you permission or direction. Who do you trust? Where do you want to go? Sounds like you need some help in more than I can give you. Do you want me to drive with you to the hospital? Would you like me to call a friend who can take you to the police department? Help them make a decision that they will follow through with. Number one, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. Number 2, you may need to have a follow-up time with them if they're a friend or a coworker or a family member, and you want to make sure that trust is there. The next level that we see is about stability. And this usually involves necessary skills or specific tasks. And if you can think about charitable organizations, government agencies, businesses, if it's task related, there's almost always one of those 3 that exists to help them with that task. And so they need to see a subject matter expert in finance, in medicine, in mental health, in home repair, in communications and marriage. Whatever it is, they need to see a subject matter expert. So how much information do you need? A little bit more. What are the topics of their concern? How much time do you need, or do they need to spend in that? It could be a little bit more. Maybe days or weeks with that person in counseling, not necessarily you doing that counseling, the subject matter expert. And it could be, too, that you have days or weeks or even longer to make that referral or to help them refer, because the anxiety level is not as high. So take some of the monkey off your back. Don't worry so much. This is not as tense of a situation. But I have color-coded it red because generally the topics of concern are of high concern to them. But you have a little more time and they have a little more time. Hope that makes sense. The next level is about self-actualization. And you might have already gotten the impression that on the left side, this is really a simplified form of Maslow's hierarchy of needs turned on its head. And I've added one more at the bottom to make it a little more simple. Self-actualization is things like their purpose and meaning in life. You need a lot more information about that because they need a lot more information about that. But you've got a lot more time too. And they probably do need to be referred, but you may be one of those people that they've come to because you're a trusted agent. It could be that you're a good friend or a respected supervisor, or you are their parent or another relative, but they've come to you to talk about meaning in their life for some reason that they see in you something that they trust and respect. So I've color-coded this orange because the risk level is not as high, but it's still somewhat intense because they're asking very deep and meaningful questions. And you got a lot of time, and they have a lot of time to work through this. Could be months, could be years, could be the rest of their life. So again, let that anxiety roll off of you. This is still about trust. It's about openness, communication. It's about what happens in the relationship with them, which is why it's especially important that they choose who they trust. If you're going to refer, help them make the choices of who they trust, which may or may not be the same people that you trust. And the last level is about service. You won't see service in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The very top of the pyramid is self-actualization. And I really disagree with that, because self-actualization is still about self. If we're going to move beyond self-focused living, it's got to be for others. How can I be the best spouse for my spouse? How can I be the best parent for my kids? The best supervisor or subordinate for my team, for the organization? All those questions are about blessing other people. So you and they need a lot more information. You and they have a lot more time. Still color-coded in yellow, because these very deep questions are the essence of life. So that might be you that is involved. It might be many people who are involved. A counselor of their choosing, a clergy of their choosing, you because you work with them every day, or you're in their family, you're in the same family every day. You've got time, you need information. But again, this is all about what is most helpful to them and your relationship with them. Hope that makes sense to you and is helpful. All these are bits and pieces of peer counseling. Don't worry that you need to memorize this, remember this, do all of this in a certain sequence. It's not a magic formula. These are all tools in your toolbox to be helpful to you. See you next time.